Josip Juranovic remains an option for Chelsea. Celtic defender Josip Juranovic remains an option for Chelsea as they continue their search for a new right-back. There is expected to be at least 2 more signings coming into Chelsea in the January transfer window, and the feeling is that it will be a right-back and a midfielder. Chelsea have addressed the issues up front and signed a central defender so far in this window, but a right-back to provide cover for Reece James is likely to be the next target. Josip Juranovic was offered to the club earlier in the window, and remains an option. According to Sami Mokbel of the Daily Mail, Josip Juranovic remains an option for Chelsea as they look to provide cover for Reece James. Chelsea identify how much of a drop in quality the team suffers when James is injured, and believe providing suitable cover will help relieve that burden in the future. Juranovic had a great World Cup for Croatia recently and would be available for a cheap enough fee in January. In terms of the other targets Chelsea have, Denzel Dumfries is viewed as too expensive and Pedro Porro looks to be signing for Tottenham. A right-back was something the club identified as a problem area before the January window, and with 2 players still expected to be bought, it's likely one of them is in that position. Juranovic remains an option for now as the club work to find the best solution going forward, but it's one to keep an eye on. Chelsea's Hakim Ziyech is available in January. Chelsea winger Hakim Ziyech is available to clubs in January, and there has been some interest in the player. The idea of Hakim Ziyech leaving Chelsea has been something that has been reported for some time, and it now looks like it could become a reality in this January window. Ziyech has been out of favour this season at Chelsea, and it would be wise of the club to cash in on the player while his stocks remain high after an impressive World Cup. There has been interest in Ziyech so far, and some of the clubs are within the Premier League. According to Matt Law of The Telegraph, Hakim Ziyech is available to clubs in January, and if the right offer comes along he is expected to leave the club. Newcastle are one of the clubs interested in the Moroccan, but there has been no concrete offers for Ziyech at this stage from any club. Chelsea tried to use Ziyech as Macaweight in a potential deal for Yves Bissouma from Tottenham in recent days, but the offer was rejected outright by Spurs. The signing of Noni Madueke today and the signing of Mykhailo Mudryk last week effectively signalled the end of Ziyech's time at Chelsea, and it now seems inevitable that he will leave the club. It will only happen if the right offer comes in, and Chelsea will likely want a permanent move instead of a loan move. The next few days will be important, and it's a deal to watch. Chelsea target Youssoufa Moukoko set to extend contract. Chelsea target Youssoufa Moukoko is now set to extend his contract at Borussia Dortmund. Chelsea seem to be favourites to sign Borussia Dortmund striker Youssoufa Moukoko in the months leading up to the January transfer window, but interest now seems to have cooled. Moukoko had interest from other clubs apart from Chelsea in recent weeks, including Newcastle, who were reported to have offered him a huge contract to sign for the club. The German is now looking likely to sign a new contract at Borussia Dortmund, with the club growing in confidence an agreement could happen. According to Bild in Germany, Chelsea target Youssoufa Moukoko is set to extend his contract at Borussia Dortmund despite major speculation he would be leaving the club in January. If Dortmund do not tie Moukoko down to a new deal before June, the player will be allowed to leave the club on a free transfer due to his contract expiring. Moukoko is now being reported to be set to sign a new 4-year deal at Dortmund in the coming weeks. He is set to turn down the interest from clubs around Europe to sign the new deal. The deal is expected to have a handsome pay rise, and Dortmund may have the funds to give such a deal due to Jude Bellingham potentially leaving in the summer for a massive fee. Moukoko is set to sign his new deal, and it could be sorted before the end of January. Things could change before the end for Chelsea, but it would take them making a move very soon to change the faith of the player. Bayern Munich, watching Kai Havertz. It has been reported that Bayern Munich are weighing up a move for Chelsea forward Kai Havertz next summer. This upcoming summer is set to be a mass exodus at Stamford Bridge, based on the amount of younger players that have been brought in under Todd Boehly's ownership. One of those players who may depart is Kai Havertz if recent reports are to be believed. Florian Plettenberg, one of the premier reporters on the Bundesliga, suggested this as a potential move this coming summer. According to Plettenberg, the German club are watching the forward situation at Chelsea very closely, given the number of forwards that have recently joined the club. Bayern are hopeful of doing a deal for a fee somewhere between £35–52 million, though it remains to be seen if the Blues are willing to sanction an exit for Havertz and what the fee would be if they are. The 23-year-old was heavily linked with a move to Bayern while he was at Bayer Leverkusen, so it is hardly a surprise that they would still hold an interest in him. Given how his time at Stamford Bridge has gone, it would not be a shock if Havertz looked to return to a league he has flourished in before.